Good Saturday morning, everybody. It is January the 4th, and I'm Chris Allen here on the Sam channel. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, all sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. Well, we've got a lot to talk about. Let me just start out by saying today is the day to get everything done. After today, there will be your opportunity to get everything done, go to the store, fill up your gas tanks, prepare for this winter storm coming in. It'll be over. In fact, for some of you that live to the west of Bowling Green, some of your activity may even start overnight tonight. So let's get it done today. Today is going to be a perfect day for that. We're talking about sunshine, few clouds, which I'm seeing this morning, and a high of about 35. But there's nothing coming in today that is going to hold you back from making a run to the store if you want to do that. Taking a look outside. This is the live view from the Plano cam here at 7:20 Central Time. That I'm doing this podcast. Some of you watching it live, others will be watching it later in the day as it pops up in your social media feeds. And this is the way we're going to keep everybody updated, because we know on the weekends we don't have a lot of newscasts like we do during the week. But I'm going to send you to here. Hopefully you'll check back here often. And you'll also use the News 40 weather app to stay on top of what's going on, because that's really your best bet. That's better in a lot of ways. It's better than having a newscast, because the newscast comes on at a certain time, probably when you're busy or doing something else, and you can't stop to watch the TV. But when you've got the News 40 weather app on your phone or your tablet, then it's all the time and it's continuously updated. It's got radar. It's got everything you need. And if there's a change in a watch or a warning or advisory, then you're going to see it pop up on your screen. So that's my best advice to you today. To keep up with all of this. So let's get to it. There's a lot to talk about. I'm sure this is going to take a pretty good while to go through everything. Like yesterday, it took about 30 minutes to get through all of it. So let me start by taking a look at, let me go to, where is my, they've rearranged things here on this. Now I did this. I did the purple snowflake, kind of just to say it's, show it's a winter storm. So that's I see it. Here we go. Okay. This is what I want to show you right now. This is the Kentucky Mesonet, of course. And here you can see how it looks right now. So as of right now, temperatures are in the teens. Look at these teens. That's where skies are clear. East of Bowling Green, there are a lot of temperatures that dropped into the teens last night. For us, it's mostly 20s, and that's because there is a layer of clouds that are over the Bowling Green, Southern Kentucky area. You can see the difference here split from west to east. So where the clouds are this morning, that's where we're seeing, excuse me, a little bit warmer temperatures. So it's 25, 26 or so here in Bowling Green, here at 7:23 Central Time this morning. Now, the air is very dry and it is very cold, but what this also tells me is that we've got a nice layer, a nice foundation of cold air that's being established right now Today, tonight, even part of last night and tonight, all of that much colder, and it's laying that foundation of cold air that it's going to take once the moisture meets up with it. That's why this is going to be a significant winter storm, because you need that layer of cold air first to be laid down at least a day or two. And then when the moisture comes in, meets up with it, that's the setup that you need to make a winter storm. But there will be times that during that winter storm that we're going to, have things warm up a bit. And that's where it gets a little dicey and maybe even icy. A word that rhymes with it. Okay, let me show you this. This is the winter weather impact. Okay, I've shown you this on TV before, and it's straight off of our website, WNKY.com, which you can also see on the News 40 weather app. Let me get rid of this down at the bottom. Okay, so there is the QR code you see at the bottom of the screen. You can use your phone, open your camera app, and just hold your phone up to that circle. That's a QR code. Your phone will recognize that, and it will help you download for free the app, the News 40 weather app, which you can keep with you at all times, and set it up so that you'll be notified immediately when something pops up. All right. Now there's the winter weather impact graphic. This is a graphic. This winter weather impact is a fairly new product. They had it last winter from the Weather Service, and we've got it back this winter, thankfully. And what you can see there is that a very large area, in fact, pretty much the entire state of Kentucky and even part of Tennessee, will be impacted by this winter storm. There will be, as the text box there says, impacts on travel, and yes, the power grids are possible, or likely, actually. Significant accumulations of ice and snow are likely, depending on where you are. But this is the place where I say, I can't go city by city or county by county and tell you exactly what's going to happen or when. I can give you a window, but that's about it. With this kind of system, there is no way to accurately 100% give you, your personal forecast. That's what the app is for, because the app will take you it will know where your phone is. It will know where you are, and it will tell you the weather that's going on there and what's coming right for you. Okay. So don't, those of you in the chat room, those of you that tell me the forecast for certain city, I can't do that. You're going to have to pay attention to what I'm going to tell you and what you need to prepare for. Even if it doesn't happen at your place, you need to be ready for it. I'm trying to get you into that mindset, because it's very important. If you're not in that mindset, you're not going to pay attention to what's going on. And you're wanting a personal forecast for you. But that's what everybody wants. And there's right now over 300 people that are watching this live. I can't do that. I can give you a summation, a little brief synopsis, if you will, of here's where we think the best areas are going to be. And that's what this map does. The impact to you is what's important. So the impacts here are going to be realized. They're going to be likely. Even if we get a little bit of ice, it's going to disrupt power. Even if we get a little bit of ice or snow together, it's going to make travel hazardous. And that's what this map shows. Of course, the reds Off to the north, that's where the worst of the icing and power disruptions and travel hazards are going to be. And we're talking about north of Bowling Green, north of the parkways, seem to be the best placement. And that may be adjusted further south just a little based on what I'm seeing this morning. So you've got to pay attention to that it still has time to change. We've got one day to go, or one today. Tomorrow morning around this time, it's going to be happening. It will already have started into Western Kentucky. So you see the scale there at the bottom. Let me go back full screen and go in here, and I'll point there. As you can see, this is the scale. So limited impacts, minor impacts, but look, Bowling Green and much of southern Kentucky is in that orange, which is a moderate impact, major impact where the red is, and extreme is a deep purple, which is going to be up here toward the Evansville area and along I-64, which is where I said yesterday looks to be the target zone. There is an ice storm warning in effect for these areas to the northwest of Bowling Green. It doesn't take in our area, but up where you see some of this red, that's where the highest impact is forecast to be, and therefore I'll show you the warnings here in just a minute. That's where they're putting down an ice storm warning. Okay, let's go to the radar. And like yesterday, I'm going to spend some time here so that you understand exactly what we're looking at. Now, I've got the broad view here, and I'll be able to draw on the radar just exactly what's going on to explain to you what's happening. At the moment, this system is way off to our northwest. Let me get my draw palette here. And here is where it's currently snowing. This is coming from the Des Moines, Iowa radar and the Omaha radar. You can see all of that is snow. That's the very beginning of the winter storm, which is way, way, way away from us. But it's headed our direction during the day. And so the Weather Service has put out, look at all these watches and warnings. I mean, everywhere it's, winter storm watch, winter storm warning. Here's the ice storm warning, which takes in the Madisonville area and everything to the west. So if you live in Madisonville, Kentucky, and northwestern Kentucky, anywhere from Madisonville up I-69 to Owensboro, or Henderson, I should say, and then up to Evansville, and then back toward Carbondale, Illinois, Cape Girardeau, southern Missouri, the Boot Hill, that's where the ice storm warning is in effect. That is where the best icing is going to take place, but some of that will indeed affect our area. Even though we're not under that warning, there's still going to be some icing that takes place here. Not as bad as there. We're talking about a crippling ice storm back where that ice storm warning is in effect. Okay. Let's see. Everything else is now a winter storm warning. It's been upgraded. It's no longer a winter storm watch. It's now a winter storm warning. And for those counties just to the north of Bowling Green, it's in effect from 3 a.m. tomorrow morning until noon Monday. So that's where you're going to get a wintry mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain, and it's going to change throughout the day. Southern Indiana could receive snow and sleet amounts of 6 to 10 inches. That's southern Indiana, north of the Ohio River. Accumulations of ice of a quarter inch to a half inch. That's, again, it can be crippling. It's going to shut down power. And there's going to be some wind. In addition to this, there's going to be a wind. So when you get this accretion of ice on trees and power lines, it's going to knock out power. North central Kentucky expected to receive snow, sleet amounts of 2 to 6 inches and a lot of ice. As you can see, that still about a half inch or quarter inch to about a half inch. Power outages and tree damage are likely. The Weather Service uses that word due to the ice. Travel could be nearly impossible. So that's north of us where the winter storm warning is. So let me come in here. Let me get out of this so I can move the map. And let's hone in on green in Kentucky. You see how close that ice storm. I think it's going to affect us here, but again, not the ice storm warning. But if there's a little jaunt further south of the low pressure system, which is expected to cross southern Kentucky right across the Kentucky-Tennessee border, then that ice storm area could be adjusted. That's a caveat. That's just a what if. But it could happen. I'm just saying. That's why we need to prepare for that possibility and not just assume that, oh, we're not in the ice storm warning, so we're okay. No one's okay. No one is okay with this system. It is going to be one of those that we're going to get a little bit of everything. Now you say, okay, what are we under here for Bowling Green in southern Kentucky? It is a winter weather advisory. Now, that's not the category of a winter storm warning, but still, reading this information, here's what we can expect. Mixed precipitation, total snow accumulations up to 1 inch, and ice accumulations between 1/10 and 2/10 of an inch, or almost a quarter inch. Now, that alone can cause sporadic power outages. Slippery road conditions, possible fallen limbs, isolated power outages will be possible. The main impacts will occur Sunday morning. So as I've mentioned before, those of you that are responsible for your congregations at churches, deacons, elders, pastors, if you're in charge of that, today is the day you need to make a decision. Do not wait until tomorrow to find out, oh, it's not that bad, I think we'll have service. You need to make that decision today. Really. Because it's going to be here. It's just going to happen. There's not a bust factor. This is going to happen. So to keep everybody safe, I would say you need to make a decision today anywhere in the state of Kentucky and even northern Middle Tennessee. They've made the decision to add some counties, all except the Nashville area. But even the northern tier of counties are under a winter weather advisory. So that tells me that this system coming in is going to be one that is going to be significant. It is going to be impactful, and it's going to disrupt normal course of life. And Sunday, being Sunday, tomorrow, we're going to have to think about churches, both Sunday morning and Sunday night. And I know some of you have things planned at these churches, but you're going to have to go with a plan B. If it were me, I would already have made that decision because it's that critical. All right, satellite view this morning showing the blanket of clouds that are moving through. But I think overall today, the clouds are going to be mixed with sunshine. We're going to see a little blanket of clouds this morning, and then the sun comes back out for a while, and then you see more clouds. The clouds really take over tonight for the most part. There's even a, believe it or not, this is crazy, but there is a convective aspect to this storm system. And here you see it tomorrow to our south and west. Just not that far southwest, there is a risk for severe weather, marginal risk. We're talking about Jackson, Tennessee to Memphis, southern Missouri, Blytheville, Jonesboro, Arkansas. That's Arkansas. And then you get up toward the southern part of Missouri. Yeah, under that risk. The highest risk of severe weather is going to be over parts of southeastern Arkansas, northeastern Louisiana, and western Mississippi, central Mississippi, kind of along I-55. There could be tornadoes. Vicksburg, Monroe, Louisiana, Natchez, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, Greenwood. I mean, all those areas, that's where there is an enhanced risk for tornadoes, severe storms. I mean, it's this system is crazy, packed with dynamite is what we call it. But look, even here this is Bowling Green. There, and I mentioned this yesterday. There could be a time tomorrow when it's raining and you could hear thunder. I'm not kidding. In the midst of the winter stuff happening, you could hear rumbles of thunder while this thing is making its way through. I'm not expecting severe weather, but a thunderstorm is certainly possible tomorrow. Isn't that crazy? That's just bizarre. Really bizarre. But that's where we are with this system. And just to the west and southwest of us, there will be people dealing with the warm, severe side of this while we're dealing with the kind of in between the warm and the cold. As the precipitation changes type, we could actually hear some rumbles of thunder. Thunder sleet, thunder snow, thunder with rain, thunder with freezing rain. I mean, it's just bizarre because the temperature profiles from top to bottom are going to mean the difference in the precipitation types that we're going to get out of this particular system. It is that crazy of a weather system. Okay. So I want you to keep that in mind because that's going to be important as we go through time. Okay. Here's a look at the latest weather briefing from the National Weather Service, updated this morning. So I'm going to go through this so that you see, and we're, for the decades I've been doing the weather here in Southern Kentucky, my friends and partners at the National Weather Service, I know them personally, and we have great communication with each other. I've got a backdoor chat room if I need to talk to them or they need to talk to me. It's a relationship that's been going on for pretty much 40 years plus. And so I thank them for getting this information out, and they expect people like me to get it out to you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through this. graphic by graphic, so you understand clearly, hopefully, what's going to happen. So we start with the headlines here, and things have changed from when I did this update yesterday, or even if you watched me on News 40 last night at 5, 6, and 10, we were pretty much broad brushed with a winter storm watch. Well, that has drastically changed. There is now a winter storm warning, and you can see that's in the pink shaded counties. That includes Ohio, Grayson, Hart, Hardin, LaRue, Greene, Taylor, kind of in the News 40 viewing area, and to the north. That would include E-Town. That would include Litchfield, Clarkson. That would include Hartford, Beaver Dam in Ohio County. That would include Munfordville, Bonneville in Hart County, Greensburg in Greene County, Campbellsville in Taylor County. Then you go up to Marion County. That would be the Springfield area. Nelson County, that's Bardstown. There's Louisville. It includes Frankfort, Lexington, all along the I-64 corridor and a little bit south 65. That is a winter storm warning. That means it's coming. There's no watching this now. It's now a warning, because starting tomorrow morning, very early, this is going to happen. And here you see the dark purple shaded counties, like I showed you on the radar. That's the ice storm warning. Here's your scale. Here's your key over here. Ice storm warning. It does not take in any of the counties that we normally have as we consider southern Kentucky or the News 40 viewing area. It does take in Hopkins County. That's Hopkins County right there. That's Madisonville. That's Earlington. And those communities there in Hopkins are in Hopkins County. Up to Owensboro, that's Davis County. Then you go back Webster County and some of those western counties, northwestern counties in Kentucky, and then southern Illinois and parts of the Boot Hill of Missouri, including Cape Girardeau. Ice storm warning. That means significant accumulations of ice that will, not maybe, but will interrupt power and utilities and cause hazardous driving conditions starting tomorrow morning. Then the blue shaded counties where we are, Bowling Green, southern Kentucky, northern middle Tennessee, that's the winter weather advisory, which means, yeah, we're going to get some snow and ice, but we may also get some freezing rain and sleet for a time. And any type of frozen precipitation that we get, I just want to make sure you understand this, that everything will be water. Okay. Water for a time, wherever the warmest air above us is going to be. It starts as snow out of the cloud, comes down to a warm air layer, which is going to come up out of middle Tennessee. It's going to change it all to rain. Then, depending on what the temperature is here close to the surface where we are, could change it back to a mixture of rain, freezing rain, sleet, or snow. And that's why I cannot give you a specific forecast for your town, because you're going to see a variety of all of that. And even, as I mentioned, a rumble of thunder in the midst of all that happening. It's crazy. All right. Okay, let me, somebody's like, the map is so tiny. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to make it, see if I can make this bigger. Okay. Let me try this. trying to make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see it. Okay. Oops. Now, so here, hopefully you can see this a little better. Winter weather advisory, southern tier of counties, north of Bowling Green, winter storm warning, northwest of us is the ice storm warning. Now, so you can read the rest of this. Let me zoom back out. Hopefully you got the idea here. High confidence in an impactful winter storm for the Ohio Valley tomorrow and Monday. Look at the scale. Forecast confidence on the almost the end of the high scale. Due to this is the Weather Service. Due to the complexity of this system, expect changes to the forecast today and tomorrow. We still do not have this nailed down, even with the short-term models now taking over. And by that, I mean the computer forecast models that are trying to take a look at this, plus the forecasters, people like me, people like the Weather Service. This map could change. That's why I'm cautioning you to at least prepare for the worst, because some of the worst, to me, the worst is the ice storm. That could move and become, part of our area in southern Kentucky. It very well could. Okay, this is the map I showed you a little bit earlier that's on our website at WNKY.com and on the News 40 app, the impact. As you can see, the Bowling Green area still under that moderate impact. The orange shaded areas, hazardous driving conditions, closures and disruptions to infrastructure may occur. What that means is your power may go out, depending on how long we get freezing rain and then sleet and then snow. On top of that, that's going to be a problem. Have some alternative way to stay warm if you've got that option. Today is the day to figure out if you have that option or not. Those red shaded areas to the north, that's where there's going to be major impact. And even a couple of spots extreme. There's a few there right along the Ohio River into the Wabash River where there could be such significant icing that people are not going to be able to get out. They're not going to have power. That's bad. Okay, the timing for the wintry precipitation. Look at this. Now, this is what I want you to really pay attention to. Here's Bowling Green, second on the list. They go alphabetical, so you can pick out other towns if you want. But here's Bowling Green. Look how early tomorrow morning this starts. 3 a.m. That's why I mentioned before, if you're a church, you need to make that decision today, whether you're going to have services or not. Some of you may be able to get by tomorrow morning without much trouble, especially the closer to the Tennessee border you are, because there may be just enough of a mix, but the roadways are still warm enough to where there's not an impact. But as far as those of you that do Sunday night services, well, here's 6 p.m. Look at all that's going to happen here. Freezing rain, wintry mix, back to rain for a time, and then over to all snow as we get into Monday. Everything will change to snow for everybody as we get into Monday, especially Monday midday to afternoon on the backside of that low pressure system. Ahead of it, there's enough warm air, as you see, being drawn into it. You get a variety of rain, freezing rain, a wintry mix, which means freezing rain, sleet, and or snow, then to all snow as we get into Monday. That's pretty much going to be the case for everybody except a few of you that are up into Indiana, southern Indiana, and around the metro Louisville area. You may start as snow, and we could see a little snow mixed in with rain as the precipitation starts here in Bowling Green. But it's going to start early tomorrow morning. Now, usually this is the graphic that everybody wants to see, but to me, for us here in Southern Kentucky, this is irrelevant in that, yeah, we might get an inch or less of snow on the backside of this system on Monday. But snow is not the problem. Snow is really not a problem for us anytime. I mean, a dusting up to an inch, yeah, it can make things slick, but it's not like a big snow. And that's because all the other precipitation types are going to cut down or kind of cut away at how much snow we're going to end up with. The greatest snow potential is going to be up here, southern Indiana, and the metro Louisville area, Frankfort, 6 to 10 inches of snow. Crazy snow for them. Okay, but they're a little more used to it than we are down here. But even to the south of that, 3 to 6 inch plus amounts are possible in, say, Breckenridge County, northern Hardin County, maybe from E-Town north to Louisville, the Bardstown area, Nelson County, and then traveling up the western Kentucky or Bluegrass Parkway up to Lexington. That is where some of the heaviest of the snow is going to be. Now, there's a possibility of 1 to 3 in the northern part of the News 40 area, Ohio, Grayson, southern Hardin, LaRue, Marion, Taylor, Greene, Hart, maybe northern Edmondson and Butler counties. But again, straight lines, the weather does not pay attention to straight lines, and these are fairly straight lines. But it's just been drawn to kind of generalize what the Weather Service is looking at as far as how much snow you could get. But please, let me caution you to not focus on the snow. We've got to focus on the ice potential. That's what's dangerous. That's what could cut power. That's what could disrupt travel far worse than what a snow could. And then you see the Bowling Green to Columbia area, out the Cumberland Parkway, part of 165 and 65. It's a less than an inch. Confidence, medium to almost high. So there's your snow outlay as we see it right now. Now, here's the one that I want you to really pay attention to. This is the expected ice accumulation. Sunday morning until late Sunday night before everything changes to all snow, which will take place Monday. But this is what we're expecting in the red zone here, where you could see a 1/4 inch to 6/10 or more of ice accumulation. That is extremely dangerous. So from Louisville to E-Town to Hartford, even as far south as you see there, along the Western Kentucky Parkway, all of Grayson County, Litchfield to Clarkson, yeah, you're included in that. And I know 2009, I believe it is, comes to mind. One of the worst ice storms you've had. 94 comes into mind of ice storm conditions. There's been several, but those are the two that I remember of recent. It could be like that. Confidence in ice accumulation, medium to high. And because we're going to see here in southern Kentucky a little more in the way of enough warm air to change it just to rain and not freezing rain, then we're expecting 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 inch. You may think that's not much, but when it's ice, it is, because it weighs down on the trees, which then weighs down on the power lines, and that's where things start going south. That's when power goes out. That's when, if it gets cold enough, which it will after this is over, that you could have problems with your pipes and other things. So this is why I'm telling you, make sure you've got some way of having a heat source if your power goes off. Make sure you've got, something, a UPS or a backup generator of some kind to keep the things you've got to keep running. Okay, because this is coming. Amounts are subject to change is what it says up here. But yes, subject to change. Maybe it goes a little warmer, and you guys in E-Town, Hartford, and other places along the parkways maybe wouldn't have so much to worry about. But then, by the same token, this red zone area could drop further south, depending on the track of the low, and we don't have as much warm air as we expect, and that could mean trouble for us in southern Kentucky. This is still not etched in stone. Very cold after the storm. That's the second part of this whole story. Temperatures are going to, look at that, remain below freezing Monday night through Friday. And here we go, day by day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, next week. These are high temperatures and low temperatures included as well. But look, 20s on Tuesday, 20s and teens on Wednesday, teens and 20s Thursday, teens and 20s Friday, and then back into the mid 20s by next Saturday, a week from today. Some places, though, look at this, single digits, E-Town with a snowpack. And that's the thing, with a snowpack and an ice pack, that makes the temperatures much colder. So we're talking about in E-Town, 11 degrees to 5 degrees before sunrise on Thursday morning, and then only getting up to about 17, 18, or 19 that day on Thursday. That's crazy. Look at this. Frankfort, 11 to a low of 3. There's a 0. That's Jasper, Indiana. But in Indiana, southern Indiana, you're going to have all snow. There won't be a mix. It'll be all snow. And so with that snowpack, you're only going to see temperatures like in the teens during the day and then drop to 0 at night. Louisville, the same way. Salem, Indiana, same way. I don't see much of a recovery in temperature until we get, say, next Sunday or Monday. It's going to be that cold. And this is where pipes could freeze, power could stay off, utilities of other kinds could be interrupted. Okay, preparing, that's what we all should be doing today. This is your final call for preparing for this storm. At home, some of you are going to need a shovel. Some of you will not. Up to the north where it's all snow, you're going to need a shovel, maybe some salt, flashlights with extra batteries. I would recommend that for everybody. candles, but be careful. Non-perishable food, just in case your power goes off. You're not going to be able to use the microwave, your oven, your stove. Bottled water, key. That's key. Because if your pipes freeze, you can't get tap water. Blankets, warm clothing. You're going to need that if your power goes off. And even if you've got a backup heat source, you're still going to need all that. Make sure you've got your prescription medicines with you if you have to travel for some reason to go to a different place for shelter. Make sure you carry those with you. A charged cell phone or tablet and some way to back that up. You know, they've got those little portable chargers now that you can take with you that are about the same size as your cell phone. You just plug that baby in and keep going. There it is, battery pack. Now, in your vehicle, if you've got to go, and some of you are you're going to have to, I know, you can't avoid it. Maybe it's because of where you work or where you are. You've got to go to a different place. Just make sure today, you put in a full tank of gas. You don't want your gas lines in your vehicle to freeze up. Have that full of gas and ready to go. Windshield scraper or brush. Some of you may not need that, but if we get a lot of ice, that's going to be an issue right there. You're going to need that. And for those with snow, you're going to need the brush more than anything. A toolkit of some, just little small tools that you can use if you need. Jumper cables. Some of you now, and I have a couple of these jumper units that you can carry with you, charge it up, take it with you. It's got jumper cables on it. It's got an air inflator. You can inflate your tires. I've got a couple of those I always take with me. And every time something like this happens, I find somebody who needs a jump. And I've got the stuff to do that with. Everybody should get that. Sand or cat litter, that helps weigh down, especially if you drive a truck like I do, and the back end of the truck, the bed, it's going to be the lighter part of the truck. You can put sand back there or cat litter, and that's going to help weigh it down to get you through. Cars, you can even do that. Put some cat litter or sand in the trunk. First aid kit, very important. Blankets and warm clothing if you should get stuck out in your vehicle. A small shovel so you can shovel away the snow and ice. And, of course, non-perishable food. So it's a lot. I know. It's a lot. Okay. Okay, I don't know why that showed up the way it did. Sorry about that. Come back to me. So the way we see it right now, mostly sunny today, a few clouds, 35. We're not, just a little bit above freezing. Then as we get into tonight, cloudy, 25. So again, we're laying that foundation of cold air. But as we get into tomorrow, we're going to start to see, we may see some of the precipitation start as a brief period of snow here in Bowling Green, southern Kentucky, and then during the day switch over to a mix of sleet, snow, rain, then to maybe freezing rain. That's where the rain comes down as liquid, but then it freezes on surfaces, roadways, power lines, trees. It is that period that will determine how much ice we end up with. And the longer we have that period of freezing rain with sleet, then the worse the outcome is going to be. But then it all changes to snow as we get into Monday. And Monday's high only around freezing as that mix goes to snow. And then after that, we're only talking about highs in the 20s and lows in the teens, as you saw. So, yeah. Today is the day to get it all done, all prepared. Again, I'm not looking at any kind of, oh, this is going to miss us. It's going to turn and go this way, and we're going to get thunderstorms instead of snow or ice. It's no, this is it. This is happening. This is going to happen. It may not happen exactly as it's been drawn on these maps, but I've got to tell you, in the many decades that I've been doing this looks certain. So, and as I mentioned, don't be surprised if you hear a rumble of thunder while some of this frozen precipitation is coming down, because that's very possible. In the meantime, here's what we plan to do. Keep you updated by using the News 40 weather app. Okay. Let me pull that up for you. Here we go. So there it is, the weather app, severe weather alerts, wherever you are, it'll follow you. Current conditions, live radar, and forecasts. We keep everything updated right there. Closings and delays. I can tell you this, Monday, because, after the holiday break, a lot of school systems were supposed to go back Monday, but it looks doubtful. It really does. So that's where you can find out if you don't automatically get your school system sending you out a text or email that school's off or whatever. A lot of schools have that system set up now, but we have everything there as well. And then, maybe there's not time to do this, but we encourage you to send in photos and videos of what's happening where you are, as long as it's safe. And we'll put it on our app, and who knows, we may show it on TV. But all you got to do is down below me, you see that circle with the QR code in it. Hold your phone up to that, and you'll get a link. Open your camera on your phone, go down and just scan that code. That's all you have to do is hold your phone up to it with your camera open, and a little link will come up. You hit that link and it'll take you to where you can download the News 40 weather app. Okay. So I encourage you to do that because it's important that you stay constantly updated. Used to, years ago, before this technology, we would have to always break in on television with every little thing. Now we don't have to do that. Go here on your device, on your phone, your tablet, and it stays constantly updated with the current conditions and the forecast and these videos and all that kind of everything, bulletins, warnings, watches. It does a far better job than we can do just by popping in on television. That's just the age we live in, and so we take advantage of that technology to keep you safe. So, prayers for everybody. Fingers crossed. We know this is going to be a big disruption, and we just need to be ready for it. Okay? I'll be back probably at some time later today. There's another conference call with the Weather Service that I'll take part in, and it will, define things a little bit more from what I just told you. Oh, God, 55 minutes. I've gone 55 minutes, almost an hour. That's a record. Sorry, but not sorry. All right, you guys. Love you. Thank you. Have a good day. Let's get it all done before